Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to continue our ride to north there from New Martinsville. On this video, we're going to go all the way up to Wellsburg. We're looking at about 52 miles. Right here in Wheeling, 2 actually goes right through the middle of town, but we're going to take 250 around it. The main street there was shut down, so we just took the 4 lane around. It's actually easier, so just keep that in mind. When you're watching routes and checking your ride. Luckily, we did there, or we would have been. That's a pretty busy area right there. So, but right there, right at Wellsburg is where we're going to stop today on this video here. And we'll get one more video out and we'll have 2 completely done. So, but yeah, we're just on the north side of New Martinsville here, getting ready to go in. Now there's always something to look at on this road, whether it be, scenery, or there's just a lot of like gas manufacturing plants and stuff, and of course you got the river and things, but it's pretty enjoyable up through here. Now the trafficy areas, they I don't want to say it's super trafficy because it's not. But it seems like you always have traffic around you, um, but it's still not like. I mean, you might get unlucky and get behind the one person that goes, 45, or get behind a truck or something. But other than that, you can see that there's ample places to pass. But I think for the most part, we cruised about 55, 60 all the way up through here. There was a couple times we got behind cars. Now this right outside of New Martinsville is like gorgeous. I mean, that's pretty good views right there. So, but the road's not bad. On this section here, just like any of these roads. I mean, some of these roads are, that I do are hundreds of miles long. Like the roads, they obviously go through different counties, and pretty much your counties, you know, whether they're up or not. Now this 2 does go in and out on like it turns into 4 lane in a couple places. Um, I left that in there. I don't do 4 lanes, but it's not like it's a major 4 lane or anything. But there's some good views on it too. It's still a back road, 4 lane. But I kind of hate it when roads do that. They duck in and out. You know what I mean? So, but as you can see, they're off to the left hand side of the video. I mean, that's nice right there. Then you get back into some of these manufacturing plants and stuff up here. But it's this road is very enjoyable. Like I said, the day we done this, it was smoking hot. It had just rained. I'm pretty sure it rained the day before, so no, it didn't rain that morning, but I know it rained the day before, and it was smoking hot that day. But it was still enjoyable. These right when you come into these manufacturing areas, you got a lot of these gravel side roads that I've said in the other video. Right there was some of it there. They, you know, 18s are pulling in and out and everything else. Always watch ahead when you're coming up on these, because a tractor could be pulling in or out and then moving slower. So just keep that in mind. I know there's long straightaways here, but that doesn't mean we gotta go 110 mile an hour either. So yeah, one of those turning in or pulling out in front of you could be a bad day. But as you can see, the roads in pretty good shape, especially for the traffic it's on it. Now we did run into one construction area up here that it was down to one lane. They're actually widening the road. They're, I don't know if they're going to put 4 lane in there, but they didn't. It's probably going to be a couple minute, at least 3 to 5 minute hold because they're letting traffic, and it's a long job. So yeah, they're widening out the road all the way up through here. But I cut a good bit of it out there because it was absolutely nothing. So other than barrels, but just keep in mind you're going to have a couple minute wait right there. But that was the only major thing going on with that. So it's not, it wasn't terrible. But a lot of this, for being where it is along the river and everything else, there's a lot of this road. It's just greenery. Like it's on both sides of the road, and like you got tall trees on the one side and hillside on the other one. But yeah, here's some of the 4 lane. I think this is the first taste of 4 lane on this one. It comes and goes, especially like no, it can't no, because when we went in, oh no, yeah, this is I got confused there for a second. We just come out in Martinsville. I was gonna say, Moundsville is 4 lane there coming into it. And that's where we're going. So got ahead of myself there. But this area here, this is a pretty busy area. You're going to have trucks turning in and out, and obviously the conveyor belt going over top of you and stuff like that. So, but these things, these little power plants and their stacks and stuff, it's funny, man. You see them from miles away, and you're like, oh, it's just right up the road, and it takes you 15 minutes right up on them. So, yeah, it's just there's not much as far as the road goes. You know what I mean? For the most part, the road on 2 is really good. Either your ditch lines are deep and or clean. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of that now. Like I said, anytime you're in them areas, you're gonna have truck traffic, and you can see the water lane on the long side of the road. So just be very mindful of that kind of stuff right there. I know that's stuff that people don't think about, but man, they drag out a bunch of mud through there. It can go bad. And obviously, you got some pretty gorgeous views here. Yep. Just keep right on a ride, smooth. Yeah, it's really enjoyable. I don't want to. I'm trying not to continue to repeat myself because, this is, like I said, not a whole lot to report here. Um, it's this section here is cut out with the river over there. It's nice that you can see a lot more than what the camera's picking up right there. So we just kind of continue on up the road here, and like I said, let me know about like these roads here. Some of them, they're kind of important. I don't want to cut them out, but it's not like you're riding 79 here or anything like that. Now, like through this section here, there's not really like that much going on or anything. You got some residences off to the sides and things like that, the river. But some of these, there's different routes that turn into 4 lanes. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff off those roads, and there's, obviously a reason they made it 4 lane. It was traffic, you know. So it was either truck traffic, so the regular cars could get by it, or just, heavy traffic. So they got to be going somewhere cool, you know what I mean, or need it. So, but I kind of classify. I know I said, this is a 2 lane channel, so this is actually 4 lane, but it's I don't know. I'm going to continue to leave them in, when I run across these. There, there probably won't be a lot of it where you sit down and watch it for 20 minutes or anything. I mean, I'll cut some of it out, but I think, as far as it pertains to a route, a 2 lane back route or something like that, they're going to have to stay in there. So I don't know why I rambled on that for like 3 minutes, but right now we're in Moundsville. Moundsville is a pretty big town. They got all kinds of cool stuff going on here. There's a lot of good restaurants, obviously gas stations and stuff, but it's also like the old prison and stuff. I think it was West Virginia State Penitentiary was the name of it, and they do tours and stuff like that. I can't remember. There's signs for it when you're coming into town, but if this would be one of those places where you would ride up to and turn and go another way or something, or just come to Moundsville, I'd definitely recommend that prison tour. It's I think it's maybe a couple hours or something like that, and I don't remember what it was. I mean, I did it several years ago when we were working up there, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Me and a buddy of mine went through that. It was very enjoyable. So actually met a pastor one time at a men's conference who escaped from there in his younger days. It was a wild story. But yeah, all that stuff they got up there, and there's plenty of stuff in Moundsville to do. I mean, it's a happening city. So just West Virginia tourism there. But that's part of getting out and riding to me. I mean, I want to go out and I want to see everything. I mean, if, I don't know if you want to get out and see what at least West Virginia has to offer. I would definitely do it. You know what I mean? It's like this here. It's coming out in like 3 videos, but you could do this all of 2 all the way up to Chester, a place that I'd never been before, and I don't know how. In like 4.5, 5 hours, something like that. So, kind of get out there and do stuff. Like I met a bunch of people. Like you would think, like Chester's literally straight north of like Parkersburg, and that's what I was saying there a minute ago. It's like, I don't know, 4.5, 5 hours total. Depends on how you ride and stuff like that. But just north of Parkersburg. And there's a lot faster ways to get there than running too. But to me, that's not really, that far off. But like it surprises me, and I don't mean it in a bad way, but it surprises me. Like there's people out there that live an hour away from a major attraction or something cool to see, you know what I mean? And they've never been there. First question I ask is, well, why? Well, we don't want to go all the way over there. Well, if there's something like where I live, kind of north central West Virginia, there's cool stuff, but there's not like extremely cool stuff. You know what I mean? There's no like grand mountains to go see or nice rivers and stuff like that. But there's attractions around here, and like I go to that. I take the family to that kind of stuff, and just to see and have that kind of under my belt there. I can kind of so to speak. But it always blows my mind when people like live real close to, say if you live 45 minutes from like Dolly Sods or something like up in Petersburg and never went up on top of the bare rocks and stuff. I mean, that's a drive from anywhere else, but if you live close, I don't know, it's just weird to me. It's probably not weird to other people. I'm just, I like getting out and seeing stuff. And that's why I like doing these videos, man. Because, like, I had never actually been in. Oh, my goodness. Sorry, I was getting all choked up there. Like I know I've driven through Chester and stuff like that, like on the outskirts, but I never went in town. I had no reason to. I've never worked there, but I did find out like the world's largest teapot is in Chester, and it I think it's like it'll be at the very end of the last video, but it's just I never knew that was there. How I never know that, but who would care? You know what I mean? But it's kind of like a touristy attraction thing, and you drive right by it. So, it's something cool. And, if you got kids, they can get out and go over and look at it and take their pictures with it. It's one of them things. Traveling, today is so much different than it was like in the, 80s and 90s, when like the family went and you stopped and you actually took pictures with everything cool because you probably never ever see it again in your life. You know what I mean? That still rings true today. Like people get out and they travel and they go, say you go west. That'll probably be the only time you ever go west. And I don't know. I like getting out and I like seeing everything. If I pass something twice, good for me. But I don't know. I don't really have a point to saying this. I'm just saying like this is kind of the point to, maybe somebody sees something in these videos that they're like, dude, that's really, really cool. I'd love to go see that. And they do, get one person out and show them a part of this state or wherever I'm riding. I probably won't happen this year, but like I usually do like a 3,000-mile ride somewhere in the country. Like I've said it before, like I've done the Canadian border from Erie, PA to Maine. I've done the southern border from just south of Lafayette, Louisiana to Florida. And right here is where you gotta get off. We went around two because if you stayed on the actual two, it takes you right downtown to Wheeling, and there was crap going on. And so this is literally like a 5-minute bypass of the town. I don't think it even takes 5 minutes, but it's kind of cool. It just you just got to be paying attention. I did have to. I turned on my GPS for this because I wasn't sure which lane I needed to be in. But where I'm going, if you're going to do this, is what you need to do to go around town. You're more than welcome to go through town. I wasn't stopping at 3,500 lights with traffic. So I just come right up around and then cut through the tunnel, which is kind of cool. I actually didn't know it was a tunnel until, I was setting everything up. And I was like, oh, there's a tunnel. So, but it's literally just brings you out. You stay in your lane, and you come down here, and there's two right there. Only thing you did was skip a couple miles of town, like downtown type stuff, and it's a lot of like L turns and everything. If you want to ride that, you're more than welcome. You can look it up on your maps and see how much of a, kind of a pain it would have been. And I just didn't want to deal with it. You're not really missing anything other than, downtown of a a town. Don't hate me for it. It's just one of those things. I just chose to go around it. Um, I left all this in here. I think this town here is, this part of town and stuff. Obviously, we still have lights and stuff, but they're not like downtown lights where you're sitting there for 2 minutes for each light to go through. Um, this was one of them, like when I researched this riding this, Wheeling was the most researched area I think I've done on any of my rides, because I wanted to see how to get through it and everything, and how to actually went through it. Because most of your towns, your smaller towns, it's just Main Street right through. But your bigger towns usually break it up. Like you got to go up this street, take a left, then a right, and you know what I mean. Like there's a lot of them that do that, and I didn't want to deal with that. That actually happened on a little. I don't even think it's like 2 miles of road that I actually cut out. It would have probably been faster to come through town than go through. I mean, it's not like it's slow either way. But I'm just kind of defending myself on why I went around. Like I don't think I've ever done that before on any of my videos. I've always bit the bullet and went through. I just didn't want to do it through there because I'm absolutely not familiar with Wheeling, like downtown and anything like that. So I just chose to, be a sissy and go around it. But long story short, there, sorry, but you're more than welcome to look up the little. I showed you there at the beginning of the video of where it should be. I don't know if I said it, where the route actually takes you through, and where Route 2 goes through Wheeling, and then I showed you the little roundabout there, how we went around it. Like I think it was 250, 270, and then just jumped right back off of 70. So it's no big deal. There's a lot of older abandoned factories and stuff. Like some of them, like this building here is stinking massive. And I can't remember what town this is. I think we're just right on the outside of Wheeling. But there's a couple little small towns there. Yeah. It might be we're in Warwood. And it kind of just goes on and on and on there. It's a cool little town. Yeah, we're in Warwood. I just had to make sure. Kind of got confused there. There's several of these little like they were old like dock towns, I guess you could say, for shipping and stuff. And you got that on both sides of the river there. But like these are like at one time were probably like boom towns, and they've slowly died off over the years and stuff like that. But they're still cool to go through. I mean, it's still a pretty decent sized town. Warwood is. And it goes on. I think it's a couple miles long here, something like that. But after that, up there, you got like the locking, the dams, the locking and unlocking things. I think they were locking and unlocking. Yeah. Sorry, I had to actually look at that because I wasn't sure. Some of these, like I'll have to open back up my maps and go back through. Like I try to take notes and stuff, but a lot happens on the bike, and sometimes like you get in the middle of traffic and come to an end of a road or do this or do that. You always can't take notes, so sometimes I have to go back through and look at all my stuff. I'm like, man, especially if it's been a couple weeks since I did the ride, because like I said, up until like the last week or so, like it was either raining or 105 degrees, and so I had to get in my rides where I get in. I also, have a massive family, so I stay pretty busy and a job. So, but yeah, just kind of sharing that with you. Sometimes I might miss something, but all the important stuff and things like that. I try to write down or try to remember. Or sometimes I just have to look them up. Um, as far as like mileage goes, usually if I stop in a town, anytime I stop, I usually try to watch my mileage on the bike or do the full ride, and I'll get the mileage off of that. Then I'll break it down in between towns. Depends on, like, if it's a long ride like this, like my mileage, I had to break it down from what point to what point, where I have to stop the videos just to get, have the time. You know what I mean? I tried to make the the last two video, but I couldn't. Like, it was too much. I still have enough for a whole nother video, and that's editing time. So I made this one here a little bit longer than I should have, but I didn't have any real good place to stop it. But I ended up stopping up here in oh my Atlanta. I'm really off today. There's just a little town. There's the dam and stuff. Uh, After this, like, we ride in the beach bottom. Like, it was so funny because I was riding. I'd never heard of Beach Bottom, West Virginia before in my life, and like, I'm riding up through here. I see this really nice sign says "Welcome to Beach Bottom, West Virginia" or whatever, and I was like, cool, because I had no idea what the town was. Like, I didn't even see it on the map. Like, when I was mapping out, like, it was one of them little towns that I just just went over top of. And like, I seen this sign, I was like, psh, yeah, we're gonna stop up here, see what restaurants they have or something like that. And like, I just kept riding, kept looking, kept riding, kept looking, and it says now leaving Beach Bottom, West Virginia. I was like, cool, 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 cool. Apparently we're going further north. It was just funny to me because they did such a nice job on their sign and stuff, and I was like, holy cow. Then there was like nothing there. I mean, don't take me wrong. There's something there, but it's not like a big town of any sorts. I'm not even sure if there was a gas station in that town. If there was, I missed it because I don't remember a gas station being in that building or in that town. So yeah, but the sign was cool. So you know, um, that being said and stuff. Like I said, I got one more video coming for two, and that'll be done. And then we got some other runs for you. This is Beach Bottom right here, by the way. I don't know why, after my elaborate story there, I didn't tell you about or didn't leave the sign in there because I thought it was hilarious. But I think we'll have Route 50 coming up after 2 is done. Route 50 all the way from Bridgeport to Carpenter Bridge. Yeah, Carpenter Bridge, West Virginia, out the Virginia line. And there's a cool thing on that there too. I found this road right on the Virginia side that literally you ride the line. It's kind of cool. It's not real long, but something I just happened to find literally on the ride. Like, I just happened across it. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, this cool stuff you find. Like this bridge and this view right here, that's pretty awesome. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a bridge person. I think they're cool, but I won't drive 2 hours to go look at one. But, bridges are cool. So, with all that being said there, like always, if you enjoyed it, please like, share, and comment. Always comment. Always let me know if I'm missing something, what you want more of, what you want less of. I don't know unless you say something, and I appreciate everybody out there that does like, share, and comment on the videos. Listen, guys, I wouldn't even hurt my feelings if you turned it on, set it down, and just let it play. You know what I mean? But I hope that, some people do get information off these videos. I really do. And that's the kind of whole the point, you know what I mean? Hopefully someone sees something in these videos and wants to go check that out. But we'll see you on the next one, and you guys be safe out there.